Welcome back everyone to another episode of Vegetarian Cooking with JJ. In this week's episode, I'm going to show you how you can take your latkes up a notch. Not that the regular latkes are not delicious, but we're going to make them even more delicious and even more nutritious. And I'm going to be making a very delicious special babaganoush. Yes, that's right. We're going to take that up a notch as well. We got our maccabees here to go along with the Chanukkah theme. And we got this guy just for fun. We got our Chanukkah, that's the correct term. It's Chanukkah, not menorah. That's where the shamash goes. It's used to light the other candles. That is why it's on a different level so that there's some sort of separation there. You can see a separation there. It's not in the count for the 8 nights. It's the helper candle. In the story of Chanukkah, it is actually recorded in history as the first time Jewish people fought for religion rather than their lives. King Antiochus and his men wanted to take over. They wanted to force their beliefs onto the Jews. And the Maccabees got together, and despite all odds being outnumbered, they defeated Antiochus and his men. Everything in the temple was turned over. It was a complete mess. Destruction everywhere. There was a small vial of oil. It was only supposed to last 1 night, but it lasted 8 whole nights, and that was a miracle as well. So, amid all this darkness and turmoil, and King Antiochus and his followers trying to take over, there was that light that came through. The miracle wasn't only the light, it was also the victory of the Maccabees. So on the 25th of Kislev in 164 BCE, that is when the temple was rededicated, and that's where we get the name Chanukkah. It means dedication. And we sing a song about this dedication called Ma'uzor. Here are the delicious vegan latkes that we're going to be making today, complete with their applesauce and daya chive and onion cream cheese. And of course, our delicious babaganoush. You're going to want to heat your oven to broil for the eggplant. So here we're using 2 regular sized eggplants. Keep in mind when you're going to be cooking these eggplants, the insides is going to shrink already. So I'm just making a small portion, but you can increase the portions as necessary based on how many people you're feeding. You want to make sure you make some puncture marks around the eggplant. This is just so we don't have an explosion. You don't have to make any funny designs. We got our eggplants punctured, and we're going to put them directly in the oven on a parchment lined baking sheet. The eggplant are going to be in the oven for an hour, but you're going to want to turn them every so often, like every 10 minutes. So you may be a little bit scared to have the eggplant on broil in the oven for an hour, but no worries, you're going to be flipping it every so often. And not only that, we want that burnt exterior. We want everything to get nice and mushy and soft in the middle so that we can get that beautiful babaganoush. We're bringing this babaganoush to a whole other level. And I have a bunch of garlic. If you haven't figured out by now, I do love my garlic. So we have 5 cloves, and I'm just going to go at it with the microplane. Oops, this way is better. I'm just going to go at it with the microplane. Yeah, I'm sitting. It's easier for the camera. So we have our pomegranate here, and what we're going to do is kind of slice around the peel, not going all the way through, just before we start to meet with the pomegranate seeds, pretty much. And we're going to break it apart. This involves some good grip, but... So you can wiggle it with a knife. Wiggle it a little bit. Okay, there we go. So now the plan is to take this big bowl with the spoon here. We're going to start one at a time, and we're just going to give it a smack. With the nut patty whack, give a dog bone. This old man I'm rolling home. It's best to have a big bowl because a shallow bowl you may have some accidents. And it helps to loosen up the seeds so that they come out easily. And I'm just making cuts on either side of the peel so that it opens up easily. Pouring the pomegranate into a bowl of water helps to remove the membrane. Now it's time to get some juice out of our lemon. And I'm gonna chop up some lemon zest. Now it's time to chop up our mint and our parsley. Time to take our eggplant out. As you can see, our eggplant is shriveled and very well done. Our parchment is certainly cooked too. I'm just going to place our hot eggplant on this cool plate to expedite the cooling. So now we have our shriveled up eggplants. They've cooled enough, and we're just going to make a slit. We're going to cut them open so the outside will be hard and the inside will be very soft. So now we're just going to scoop it all out half at a time. And you see a lot of moisture already had leaked out onto the plate, but furthermore, we're going to put it over a colander and let it strain into the bowl. Here's the liquid that came out of it. Like I said, most of the liquid came out on the plate. Okay, so I'm just going to mix in eggplant into the bowl. I freshened up the bowl. I'm just going to show you the amount of lemon juice. 1 tablespoon, 2 tablespoons should be good enough for this. Our lemon zest. 1 and about a half tablespoon. And then as for our garlic, we'll put in the whole thing and put some black pepper and a couple of pinches of salt, a few pinches of salt. And we'll give this a nice mix up. We're just going to cover this and put it in the fridge and let it marinate. You can marinate it for an hour. And as for our pomegranate and our herbs, we're going to save these to the very end. And so once it's ready to serve, once it's ready to go, we just sprinkle it all on and plate it nicely. You can use a bowl or whatever you feel like. So before we get our potatoes all shredded up, I'm going to be using the food processor for that. I'm going to make slices of the onion. When you grate the onion, it's going to be more liquidy, and then there will be even more water to squeeze out. So I'm going to make slices of the onion. We'll just nicely separate our onion. And I'm just gonna peel our sweet potato. As for our Yukon Gold potatoes, I am going to leave the peel on. I washed them quite well. I'm just gonna take out the eyes. And I have a couple of zucchinis here, and of course the peels stay on. For our food processor, we're going to be using this trusty attachment. It's our grating tool. Now, word of advice, don't just throw this any old place in any old drawer or anything. I had a run-in with this guy a while back, and it wasn't pretty. We're going to get our lid on, and we may have to make some cuts to feed it through, so I'm going to do that right now. Ready for the action? It looks like it's quite full, so I'll just have to empty it and continue.
It is recommended that you use a cheesecloth to extract all the extra liquid. Just twist and squeeze. You can also wrap it around a wooden spoon. And here are our shreds. Here's the liquid we extracted. It came to 1 and almost a third cup.
So we're gonna take our shreds and pop them in our clean, fresh bowl. And our onions too. We're gonna mix them in. And we're going to add our salt last. So first we're just going to start off with some smoked paprika.
I'm adding approximately 2 teaspoons and about 1.5 teaspoons of ground cumin, about 1 teaspoon of Italian seasoning, and 1 teaspoon of garlic powder, and a generous grinding of black pepper all around. Add in the flour 1 tablespoon at a time. A little of the starch from the bottom of the extracted potato liquid. As you mix things up, you will know whether or not to add more flour. You want it to stick together. Here we're heating 2 large pans to medium.
I just have a flax egg here that we're going to incorporate into our mixture. And then there's a tiny amount of starch at the bottom of all that liquid that I'm just going to mix together.
I'm getting the oil on our pans, forming the patties and placing them on both pans. You want to squish them down with a spatula. Make sure they're nice and brown on the edges before flipping. It helps to have a parchment-lined baking sheet in the oven at 200 so that you can slide the latkes in as you go. Our babaganoush is back out and I'm gauging how much salt to add. I'm mixing in our mint and parsley and adding some on top. And some pomegranate seeds on top, and we'll drizzle some olive oil on top to finish it off.
You all know what time it is. I get to try it. So I'll start off with the latke and a bit of the applesauce here. Making a mess here. Very nice. I love the combination with the sweet potato, the zucchini, the regular potato, and the Spanish onion. It's all good. The other half I'll try with our vegan cream cheese. Here we go. If I could only use a fork properly, right? I got a little applesauce in the mix, which is actually a nice combination with this vegan cheese. take note, it's a good idea to pat dry your latkes with some paper towels. So you just remove some of the oil from them so they're not overly oily. Here, I got my cracker. You can use pita bread. I was gonna get pita bread. I just honestly forgot. Gotta love that lemon and garlic and that pomegranate and the herbs in the mix. So there you have it. A couple of recipes that would be good for entertaining for Chanukkah or for other occasions if you don't celebrate Chanukkah. But this is our Chanukkah theme video. I also roasted some cauliflower, but that's not seen in the shot here. I'm gonna make a quick salad too. So remember, if you like this video in any way, shape, or form, hit that thumbs up button, subscribe to my channel. There's gonna be a new video, a new recipe every Monday to beat those Monday blues, so stay tuned. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to leave a comment below. Let me know where you're tuning in from. If you have any questions, feel free to ask down below. I will be happy to get back to you on any questions you may have. Happy eating and happy cooking. Bon appetit!